Hello and welcome to the channel once again. I'm going to be attempting to solve these word puzzles, Wordle-like puzzles, starting with the warble. So as a reminder, if a letter is grey, then the correct letter in that position is not within 3 alphabetically of the guessed letter. So you can see, because the first guess that it's put in by default for us is a Q, and it's grey, the correct letter can't be any of those between N and T. And because that T is yellow, when we get to it, we'll find that the correct letter in that position has to be either a QRS or a UVW. So, what can we do with this information? Well, to start with, not a lot, but let's start typing letters and see if we get something that looks plausible. So chirp, I think, is a possibility. And it's given us a little bit more of a bit of information. So for the R and the T to both be correct on the fourth one, that's restricted it quite a lot. And for the S to be yellow but the P to be grey has restricted it a lot there as well. So it's quite likely to end in a T, which means it's quite likely to end ST. So the third letter probably has to be a vowel, although it could be first. No, it can't be first because we can't start with an F. And it can't be worst either. So we're probably going something ST. Heist? Nope. So if it ended UT instead, I don't like any of these letters coming third. Or it could be OUT. What can we put before an OUT? Probably none of those letters would be second, so I'm still thinking it ends in ST. Midst is a possibility. Okay, so it does end in ST. Oh. Least, by the looks of it, has to be the most likely answer. So we'll move on to the Super Ball. Well, as you can see, you have to be closer to get it to show a yellow. So that makes it harder in some ways, but it does mean that once you get that yellow, you've got a lot more information to work with. It's more restrictive. We're doing worse so far. What vowel are we going to try? Let's try an I. Let's try, oh, I was going to try midst, given that we just ruled that out for the other one. But it clearly can't be. How about cider? Because the ER ending is quite useful. So it is a C and an R. That was quite a lucky guess. But not a lot of the middle. That's going to have to be an H, isn't it, to follow a C? Are we thinking choir or chair? Choir was what I thought of first, so we'll go for that. Oh, and it is correct. A little bit of luck there. And we'll finish off with the Super Ball Plus. As you saw, you have to be adjacent in order to get a yellow. So, oh, so the third letter is W or Y. I missed that implication a second ago. So, that restricts it quite a lot. Let's try cower, because why not? Oh, so now we know it ends Y-E-R. So, dryer. Oh no, buyer? Buyer. Maybe could have got that in 3 with a bit more luck, but getting it in 4 again. I think I got it in 5 or 6 last time I attempted this, so it's a step in the right direction. This is, well, it can be quite a tough one. Obviously that second guess was incredibly lucky, although ER is obviously quite a common ending. Let's move on to the Xord. So, as a reminder here, it's again exactly like normal Wordle colouring, except we're trying to guess 2 words at once. So, at least one of the words starts with an S. There is an I in at least one of the words, but it's not second, and so on. So what I'd like to do here is use completely different letters to try and get some more information. Because once you've got 10 different letters, coloured yellow or green, you can just anagram those into 2 words. Now this doesn't always work because there might be duplicate letters, but we'll stick with it for now. Let's try facet. Shouldn't have bothered, so there's no E. And we've got 8 different letters so far. There was probably quite unlikely to be an E, given that we've already got A, O, I, U and Y. That was quite a silly guess, potentially. So at least one of the words is going to have at least 3 out of those 5 A, O, I, U, Y. Let's try bumpy, because it tries a new position for the U, and it tries a few new letters. So we've got the U correct. But we still only have those 8 letters. Maybe I should have tried an R or an N at some point. I'm going to try a new position for the H and O, and I will try the R and M, as I said. And I clearly shouldn't have bothered, but we're making progress. I might try showy now. Yeah, because we already had the S, H, O and Y in the correct position, so showy was quite a plausible answer, although of course there was no guarantee that S, H, O, Y would all be in the same word. But with these 4 letters remaining, I think it has to be quail. I think quail has to be, the Q, sorry, has to be the remaining letter. There we go. Now that is a very showy quail. Can't argue with that. And it's a silly showy quail. There you go. It's themed. Right, and we're going to finish off with the fibble. So again, exactly like Wordle, but there is one liar in each row. So for example, either the W is lying, in which case it could be yellow or green, and then all 4 of these letters are not lying, so they're all in the word. Or maybe the H is lying, but again, if it's lying, it could be grey or green, so it could go either way. So we've actually got a surprising amount of information. It always gives you a random word to start with, but having 4 yellows means only one of them can be lying, so there's at least 3 of those letters in the word. I'm going to start with leash, which is a plausible answer because the A would be lying and should be green. Okay, now, so the A and the H have both changed colours. So this is saying neither of them in the word, this is saying they're both in the word. So clearly one of them's lying up here, one of them's lying down here. So that means exactly one of them is in the word, so there's no W. And there is an L and an E and an S. So let's try shelf. Oh. So we know there's an L, an E and an S. So there's either an H or an A. If the H is in the word, then we know all 5 letters, and there's no anagram of those that would have only one liar, because it would have to have the S and the E being in the correct position. So the H is definitely lying, which means the A is lying down there. So we know that there's an L and it's not in that position, so that is truthful. It's quite likely that the F is lying, to be fair. Let's try slept. Ooh. So it could be sleet if we've got a duplicated E, which would be annoying. But we know that the L can't be here. So potentially the T is lying and the L is last. But I'm going to guess for now that the L is lying and see what we come up with. Ooh. So actually that is lying because we know there's an L, which means that that must be lying because now we know that the T is not in last position. Oh, and we already knew there was an A in the word, so that was a couple of stupid guesses, and I think the answer has to be steel now. I stole a few guesses from myself. I should have included the A earlier once I'd deduced that it had to be in the word. But yeah, let me know what you think. That's the full 3 set of Wordle variants that I'll be attempting in this video, so thank you for watching. Bye for today.